let this be a lesson to you, Joe and Sarah. I knew when I stood up. No, see, that's all part of the shtick. Within the first 1/10 of 1 second when I stood up, my wife said, "Take a napkin off. You got work in front of you." These weddings, you prepare for them, you come to them, and you never know how serious they are until the music stops and the bride comes through the door and everybody's looking in one direction, and it's pretty serious business. I'm glad to be here. There's a lot of people that are here tonight that are in the military, and so are we. And we have a saying, and it applies to almost everything, and we use it here. And we can all use it, even though all of you may not know what it means. That's okay, because neither do we. The word is hua. And this is a hua occasion. Hua? Hua! There we go, get that out of the way. And also, there's been another milestone tonight. I've never seen Joe cry. So, we got that. But anyway, a wise man once said, be brief, be brilliant, and be gone. And I guarantee I'm going to be at least one or two of those things. If you're not familiar with my dry sense of humor, you better put your seatbelts on and catch up. So, last August, when Joe proposed, he said, "And you're going to be in the wedding." And I said, "Great." And then about 4 months ago, Joe said, "And you're going to get a toast." So, in classic Fox fashion, I got busy procrastinating. But in the last 2 weeks, I've been in Minnesota, living in my van by the river, and that's totally true. And so I've had plenty of time to come up with material for this, maybe too much material, but I'm going to give you a 1 page worth. If you're all wondering how you ended up here on this particular weekend, look no further. I take at least half the blame, and then Joe's the other half the blame. But it goes something like this. About a year and a half ago, Joe comes into my office, and Joe's talking about, as Sara alluded to earlier, the Cardinals, and the Hawkeyes, and golf, and Joe. Now, if you know him, you know it. So it's true. So he says, "But hey, seriously, who's the hottie you just hired over next door?" And I said, "What? Who were you talking about?" He said, "Last name's Man's Scalp Coconut Kelp." So I can't pronounce her name. I said, "Dude, it's easy. It's her name's Sara." And honestly, he said, "That's one of my favorite names." And then I said, "Why?" And he says, "Well, is she single?" And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Well, I'm thinking about asking her out." Well, I kind of let it go, but anyway, he did ask her out. Before I asked her out, I wandered on over to the office, and I said, "Hey, Sara, do you know Joe Robinson?" And she said, "No." And I said, "This could work out for Joe." Long story short, they went out once or twice, and from the reports I was getting, things were going pretty good. It's okay. And then at that point, my sergeant major instincts kicked in, and I thought, well, she works for me, and I'm his mentor. I better have a speech. So I said, "Look, you two, we're going to have a meeting in my office." Didn't we? So there's 2 things that are going to happen. Rule number 1, when Joe and I are golfing, we will neither receive nor send text messages, emails, or phone calls. And rule number 2, this is an important one, you're going to help me out with this later. Rule number 2, everybody, when I say later on in the speech, when I say, "and never forget," you guys will say rule number 2. Okay, so let's practice. And never forget
rule number 2.
That's pretty good for not hearing it yet. That this relationship will either culminate in a marriage and a happy ending, or drama-free silence that involves me in no way whatsoever. So here we are, they took the high road. Anyway, can you believe it? Sarah, can you believe it?
I can't believe it's Georgia.
I know, can you believe we're finally here in States Commons?
The happiest day of your life.
Happy to say you're and close second place. But anyway, what I can't believe is that the 7 months of invitations, notifications, reminders, and save the dates have finally come to an end. I have to kind of go in shock on that deal. But I'm almost done. In all seriousness, these two have served their country for probably 30 plus years, defending our freedoms and independence, which is important. And when I thought about it, I thought, well, that's probably why they chose this weekend to wed. And then I thought, freedom and independence. And marriage. Are not synonymous with each other. But after knowing them for so long, I also know how loyal, compassionate, and determined they are to be successful and to love each other. And now it boils down to this. I know you will serve each other well forever. And I'm glad for that. I wish you the best. May you always be happy. And may you always remember.
Rule number 2.
All the way, Sergeant Major, all the way.